Welcome to the Fast Mode podcast series. I'm Tara Nil, and with me today is Piyush Sharma, co-founder and CEO of Tuskira. Tuskira was founded to address the growing challenges of managing fragmented and reactive security systems. The company's AI-powered security data fabric integrates data from over 150 security tools, empowering organizations to shift from reactive threat response to proactive threat prevention and a strengthened security posture. Piyush is a seasoned cybersecurity leader with over 2 decades of experience and a proven track record as a serial entrepreneur with 2 successful exits. Holding a bachelor's degree in computer science and an MBA, Piyush has held prominent roles in Symantec and Tenable, where he drove product and business innovation. Piyush joins us today as part of our exclusive editorial segment on generative AI for network management. Welcome, Piyush. Great to have you on today's episode.
Thank you for having me here, Tara.
Awesome. Okay, to start, can you tell us more about Tuskira's unified and proactive approach to cybersecurity and how it compares to the traditional, more fragmented and reactive approaches?
Sure. So today, organizations rely on more than 50 plus security tools, which often operates in silos and leaving defense gaps and blind spots. There's some estimates who indicates organizations are missing on at least an additional 80% of vulnerability, which never get resolved, which never get patched and remediated. And when we found average resolution time is more than 8 weeks. And this is, given the AI is being used to exploit these vulnerability, it's a huge window for bad actors to exploit these vulnerabilities. Tuskira's GenAI powered security mesh monitors and secures every exposure point across cloud, OT, operational infrastructure, and hybrid infrastructure. By integrating data for 150 plus tools, Tuskira provides a comprehensive view of your threat landscape, enabling risk prioritization based on actual threats, and take preemptive action without even additional configuration or manual cycles. So we as Tuskira aims to provide a solution that keep your teams ahead of attackers.
Okay, so you did mention a little bit about AI, right? So how
That's
has
right.
the use of AI changed what you do?
So, a great question. Traditional security measures like EDR and WAF are increasingly becoming more complicated to manage. They have a lot of capabilities, but they have inadequate understanding in the customers in mind on how do you comprehensively configure these control for sophisticated AI-driven cyber threats. AI is not just to improve the productivity. AI is also being used in dark web by attackers to create more exploit for the vulnerabilities. So attackers today employ advanced evasion techniques to defend to evade your defenses, such as system call manipulation or by exploiting misconfigurations to bypass static defenses. By leveraging AI-powered platforms, organizations can implement preemptive strategies and include adversarial simulations and dynamic defense adjustments to identify and mitigate threats before they materialize.
Okay, so does that mean that you don't need as many people doing the job, or it just means that those same people have better insights and therefore can, like you said, detect more vulnerabilities that would have otherwise, remained undetected? Is that what it means?
Absolutely. Yes, absolutely. And both is true because now you are able to do more with your existing teams, means you're able to run more complicated million data points correlation using these
Yep.
AI models,
Yep.
as well as you're able to get to the needle in the haystack situation where you're finding the needle means you're running millions of correlation at a million fraction speed, which humanly is just not a human scalable problem
Yes.
anymore.
Yes. Okay, and now we have generative AI, right? Okay,
Right.
the latest tool in our toolkit. So how is that changing things for you guys, and also in what you do?
So, uh, traditional vulnerability management often fails due to reactive in nature and inability to prioritize threat effectively. What happens is vulnerability management is not as simple as understanding the vulnerability. Vulnerability management also includes identifying how a vulnerability can be exploited. That is the
Yep.
true vulnerability management, which means that your organization today struggle with static configuration and fragmented data set. Your data is separated across hundreds of tools that you are using, and this is why your remediation and patching is very slow process. So by having a continuous behavior-based analysis powered by AI, generative AI enables security teams to prioritize vulnerability based on real-time threat intelligence, based on certain behavioral simulations, and translates your noise into actionable insights and the vulnerabilities that really matters to you.
So do you guys offer the Gen AI capabilities in your solutions?
That's correct.
You,
Absolutely. We are Tuskira is AI first platform that collect integrate data from hundreds of tools and then run AI on top of that to find these vulnerabilities that really matters based on millions of data points.
what do you think about some solutions out in the market where they just add the LLM component to the existing solution, and then they say that it has Gen AI capabilities? Is that the true meaning of Gen AI, or what's your take on that?
Okay, my take is very radical here. I would say using a real use of AI is to be able to run lot of empirical analysis, doing a lot of reasoning using these AI models, not just for the conversation's sake. If you're using AI just for conversing, asking question, getting
Yeah,
the answer, you're not scaling you're not making
exactly.
any difference to your existing teams.
Okay, because we see in the marketplace today that a lot of people are jumping on the generative AI bandwagon, and then we are looking at how
That's
it actually enhances their solution. But it seems like a lot more narratives are built around access, democratizing access to people who have
correct.
no engineering or coding background. So like
That's
what you
right.
pointed out, it should enhance scalability, and the empirical work that is being done. Okay, so what are the challenges that you see in deploying AI for cybersecurity? Things like data privacy issues.
Yeah, and when you use leverage AI for building any cybersecurity platform, you have to adopt a secure first approach of using these models. There are certain myths, certain challenges around how enterprises are dealing is today they bring the customer data and they try the model to look into the data set that belongs to customer. That is not a right approach to do it. Responsible data governance is crucial, and of course, you need to make sure that AI-driven security systems comply with the appropriate regulations like GDPR, CCPA, and HIPAA. And think about this. Tuskira is really looking into your disparate tools and systems, evaluating what is wrong and what not, enabling your team faster, and also without having AI to understand, have access to your data. Tuskira, our system does not have, in AI does not have direct access to our customers' PII or sensitive customer data. There is a software in the loop that separates AI and our customer data so that we can create and limit the boundary of what AI can do. Number three is Tuskira's AI models are not using customer data to train itself. Tuskira's AI models are more domain expert, for which they don't require any customer specific data. And this is why Tuskira's platform is far more scalable than any other platform who are mixing customers' data and AI in together.
And so you have pre-trained models that you bring to the customer. And
That's correct.
do you then run a few more training rounds to address the specificities of the customer? Do you do that?
Correct. So what we do is the specificity, what is the fine tuning we do on the models is what are the unique vulnerabilities or unique issues that our customer environment has. But this specificity is not about making customer secrets or private data or confidential data that to be trained on the AI model. Tuskira system doesn't do that. Tuskira takes unique vulnerabilities that we are seeing in customer environment, make AI understand how to comprehend these vulnerabilities, what are the nitty-gritties of these vulnerabilities, so that Tuskira's AI can actually do the right evaluation on customers' data. So there is this difference between the fine tuning that we do versus the industry is doing. Our fine tuning on these models are domain understanding. Every time a new vulnerability or a new zero day comes, model will be fine tuned to understand that inherently, so that when customer finds the same vulnerability, model understand that vulnerability natively, and it can give you the analysis in fraction of seconds.
So what would you say are the verticals that you are specialist in? I mean, from your
We
experience.
So we are seeing financials, very large financials are working with us to analyze their data set. Large financial organizations, banks, healthcare companies. We're also looking at the IT, OT infrastructure companies like industrial organizations, like the companies who are managing large infrastructure like airports, stations, industrial chemical plants, and also the hardware companies who are building air conditioners or system controls that are automating your day-to-day life infrastructure.
And for someone who's using Tuskira's solutions, what are some of the immediate benefits that they can see?
So the biggest benefit that Tuskira brings you at three level. Number one, we reduces the noise around what are the vulnerabilities that defenders needs to focus on, because we bring the approach of defensibility in prioritizing these vulnerabilities, which means that even if there are vulnerabilities remain open, you may still have the defense in place, the right defense in place, which means you don't need to patch and remediate them immediately. Number one. Number two, we will identify the mitigations around the vulnerabilities that are truly exploitable in your environment and must be acted upon. So customer don't have to wait for their remediation and the patching to happen, which is a very long cycle. It's like 8 to 12 weeks. So customer don't have to wait. We can adjust their existing security controls to mitigate or prevent any exploitation attempt on those vulnerabilities. And the last is we reduce a lot of tool chaos, as we call it. Tool chaos is about how do you reduce the noise around minimalistic optimal usage of the tool, so that maximum weaknesses and the vulnerabilities are governed and defended by your tools.
Oh, awesome. So I think before we wrap up, I just have one last question. What do you foresee becoming like the most prevalent vulnerabilities that organizations would have to handle this year? Like what are the new vulnerabilities that they should be prepared against?
So vulnerabilities, like there are a few notable vulnerabilities we have seen in last 12 months, and they continues to be a big threat, like Log4j, Log4Shell, MoveIt. Vulnerabilities, they are very dangerous, very intrusive in nature. And this is where Tuskira's approach is even better, because these vulnerabilities, remediation and patching require your application, your infrastructure to be changed, which is a very long cycle. So even without changing and remediating, Tuskira can actually optimize the perimeter controls or your area defense control, so that while your team is actually remediating or patching, there are no exploitation can be
All right.
possible on your infrastructure.
Sounds amazing. Sounds amazing, and I think that's great value for organizations that are in the midst of
Absolutely.
transitioning, to a better, safer architecture, right? So then you guys are
That's
there
right.
to, provide
That's
the
right.
security. Yeah, awesome. So I think we have come to the end of the session. Thank you so much, Piyush, for joining us in our session today and for explaining, about cybersecurity and the use of AI and Gen AI in this phase.
Thank you so much, Tara. It was a pleasure talking to you.
Okay, awesome. And to everyone tuning in, thank you for listening. If you guys want to learn more, visit www.tuskira.ai and follow us for more updates and insights as we continue to uncover the latest in technology and telecommunications. See you in our next session. Bye bye.